Hello, Bret. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So let's talk about Dumb and Drummer podcast.
So, I had this idea a while back of doing a podcast with a real drummer. I'm the dumb, Jeff is the drummer here. Um, and my basically the idea in a nutshell is you typically have about two kinds of drummers that took a lot of lessons, learned how to read, learned a little bit of theory, learned all their rudiments and stuff like that. A lot of them took marching classes. Um, or the people like me that learned by beating on a mattress, playing along to Slipknot songs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think there both can be said. There a lot can be said about both methods of learning. While I do wish I had taken a lot more lessons and stuff like that, there are some people that can't afford that. I didn't have YouTube, but now there's YouTube and stuff like that, which is great. But sometimes all you have is the mattress to beat on, and but it'd be awesome if you had someone to explain, like you, who is more versed in stuff like this,
Mm-hmm.
these theories and topics in a digestible way
Yeah,
for someone
definitely.
like me who I know what a paradiddle is and stuff like that, but there's a lot of different, I don't know all the different ways of applying it to a kit, all the different ways of notating it, how you can break it down and stuff like that, which are things I really wish I knew as an up and coming drummer.
Mm-hmm.
That
So,
would have benefited me a lot.
so getting the perspective of the self-taught drummer, and then getting the perspective of the other side, the lessons, music theory, application,
Yeah,
all that good stuff.
the more school taught drummer.
Okay. So yeah. So let's get right into it here. So as far as what to expect moving forward is we're gonna take some questions. We're gonna explain some different topics about gear, about musical interpretation theory, writing out drums, and then the self taught approach of figuring stuff out by banging on a practice pad, banging on a mattress, and hopefully make sense of all this complexity. That
Exactly.
about right?
And try to make it easily digestible, because there's a lot of these good drummers I see on YouTube. They're great, amazing
Mhm.
drummers, but they go to explain stuff, and it's not digestible in a way for people that aren't, that already don't have that beginning level.
Yeah.
It's like they it's kind of almost they make their videos in the assumption that someone already has a certain foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there is more than one approach, obviously,
Exactly.
and
All
all the talking
I
in the world may not help you out until you get
Yeah,
to play.
and and just same thing with, like, regular academics. People are different kinds of learners. People learn things different ways. Some people are visual.
Yep.
I know I'm very visual. Like, I can learn a lot by ear, but once I watch someone do it, I'm like, oh, it clicks.
Yeah. Exactly.
I can see the strokes and exactly what he's doing, and it just clicks so much more for me. I'm very visual that way.
So let's check out. You have a clip of some double bass work, right?
Yeah, so let me
So,
let me
so
talk
talk a
about it
little
for a
bit about
second.
that.
So, I'm a punk metal guy. That's where I started off playing drums. I obviously have tried to branch out into playing different stuff, but that's where my heart is. And so I do a lot of double kick, double bass work.
Hmm.
And so one of the things, one of my I think is detrimental to me is when I start getting up in these higher speeds. And this video is actually a pretty good example of what I shouldn't be doing. Actually, to be perfectly honest, I was trying to show a video of me practicing a more of an ankle technique.
Hmm.
And what this video actually showed me is how bad I am at this ankle technique. I had not really observed it from a foot level before, and watching this, it's like you can just see I'm doing kind of a foot stomp. There's really
Yeah.
not a lot of technique in there. It's like thigh muscle stomping the whole leg,
Yeah.
and when you start getting up into higher tempos and you're tensing up like that, you're gonna crap out pretty fast, because you're not gonna be able to hold that endurance. But let me do my share screen here and pull up my
Awesome.
little video.
So
So I was playing at a slower tempo, thinking that I was using more of an ankle technique, and realizing I'm really not, even at slower tempos. I'm kind of just stomping it, which I really want to work my way away from. But this is how I typically practice my speed and endurance. And this is my first time behind a kit in about a week, so it is a tad sloppy. Forgive me there, but
Okay.
it does show my left foot is a little weak considering how often I play double bass stuff and how I should be focusing a little more on my left foot.
Word.
And here we go.
What are your initial thoughts when you watch yourself back?
When I so I obviously wasn't playing anything on top of that. Well, no hi-hat or anything like that. It was just my feet. And which is always a little different because you're not, it's always different. It's a weird feel when you're just playing your feet and not your hands.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the point is I want to focus on, I guess the logic behind it is if I can do it with my feet without really paying attention to what I'm doing up here, I can just fly on my feet and focus on my hands.
Yeah.
But so when I was doing the individual singles between my right and my left in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
they you could tell my right foot was pretty consistent on the strokes, and my left foot, like that first stroke would be kind of soft and kind of blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I got the bounce in there, you'd hear the other few strokes coming through. And even then they weren't evenly spaced, and there was a good amount of slop on that left foot.
What was the video originally for ankle technique? You said, but it turned out to
Yeah,
be
that was I because I'm not wasn't going to claim at all to be an expert of ankle technique. It's something I'm just started trying to teach myself.
Yeah.
But I really thought I was using more ankle motion and using my calf muscle much more than I thought I was just smashing my whole leg down. But by that video, you can see my ankle doesn't even move. It stays at a 90-degree angle the entire time.
It's almost like for that technique, you need your throne to be higher, so your foot is actually going down like this.
And
if you're lower, then it's more of a temptation to use more leg versus kind of.
I agree. But I actually already sit kind of high because I'm a taller dude. Mm-hmm. So I do sit kind of high, but I try to find this. So for me personally, I try to find this equal balance because I'm not just a metal drummer, and I know like there's these dudes that set up super high spring tension, big fat beaters, and big fat wood beaters, and that's how they get their speed. And it's like, well, I don't always play with a double pedal. I play a lot of punk gigs where I'm just playing a single pedal, and all my doubles are with one foot. Yeah. And I just can't do it on those super high spring tension, big beater things.
Oh man.
I can blast some double bass and do some blast beats with them, but more articulate stuff is out the window for me.
Right.
So I'm trying to find a nice balance there between, me have that where I can kind of just lock in my feet and just, set it and forget it almost when I'm doing double bass rolls. And still being able to do more articulate stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because I don't play. I don't really. I don't outside of metal. I don't play with triggers either. So sometimes I'm doing softer notes on the bass drum and all that.
Yeah, it's really interesting on that because if you isolate any given foot, like even if you isolate your right foot over a long enough timeline, it will just start to go to shit. Everything looks good, and then all of a sudden it starts locking up or starts slowing down, and then you're you misfire and hit off the pedal, your foot goes off the pedal or whatever. So, and especially on the left side, you isolate the left side in comparison to the right side.
Yep.
It's almost like your left side you need to do left foot lead and do like
I,
another rep just on the left side or something to like compensate.
I mess around with that. I should incorporate it like as an actual part of my practice routine, but I do mess around with just playing licks and beats with my right foot. And I'll pick like a song that like I'll find like a 90s rock song or something that like, relatively simple beats and stuff. And I'll play them. I don't switch up my kit, but I play them left-handed or open-handed pretty much, I should say. But with my left foot. And then just to add to the limb independence, I'll keep time with my right foot just off to the side of the pedal because I don't have a right hi-hat or anything.
Yeah.
So I'll be keeping time on my right foot while playing the bass drum with my left.
Which is very telling.
And I should add that more because obviously the more practice you get in with that foot, that limb, it's going to get better. That's just regardless obvious. Right. So yeah, what I want to focus on is really getting that ankle motion in where I'm using my calf, not my shin, and not really just pushing with my thigh.
Yeah.
And really relax. So like you were saying, when you went after a certain amount of time, you start tensing up and then things start getting a little sloppy. Mm-hmm. I really want to, breathe in, breathe out, find my zen and relax when doing, especially that really fast stuff, because, when you're blasting double bass for about a minute and then you have 10 more songs that have other fast stuff like that, you don't want your leg locking up.
Well, and also for that, I would say a practical approach is like slow it down 10 or 15 BPM, play with the metronome, do left foot lead.
Exactly.
Like we all want to, go down to the kit, play a closed double bass, roll. Sounds like a machine gun, but you have to work your way up to that also.
Exactly.
I'd rather have it be a medium to low tempo and sound really consistent and the technique's really solid than stretching and then having all this weird random stuff happening with technique.
I know you're not much of like a super fast metal guy, but there's this thing I've noticed, and I've heard other guys kind of mention it, is there's this gap. So you got slower tempos where ankle motion doesn't really apply so much.
Yeah.
And you're hitting the bass drum pedal just kind of like you're kind of hitting it, slamming on it. And then you get this weird mid tempo where the technique is not quite where you're able to float on that ankle motion, but you can't really just. And then when you get to so you can only, and basically what I'm getting at is the ankle motion. There's a certain threshold where you at a minimum speed, you can really practice it at effectively.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point. And it's the same thing with double stroke rolls. Like when you're learning how to roll.
Yeah.
There's that area where you're stroking it out and then all of a sudden you just let it bounce. So instead of dig it, you just say dig it.
And it almost it starts getting that almost buzz feel to it because it's just they're so close together and that bounce is right there.
Well, it's a multiple bounce stroke, a double or a buzz or a triple stroke, whatever. Right. Multiple bounce stroke, but you could apply that same rationale to a bass drum, like a bass drum technique at a faster tempo. It's still single, but it's like the mechanics is multiple bounce. Versus if it's slow, I can just use leg, and a lot of drummers do use leg, and some people say don't bury the beater and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's really good. I think what I love about the video most is that there's a foot cam.
Right.
You actually have a camera on your feet, which a lot of people don't do, which is kind of novel, but also like recording yourself playing. I mean, a lot of people on Instagram are recording themselves on top. The camera is showing what you're doing on the kit with your hands, but you never see what your feet are doing. So you're like, wow, my left foot sucks balls, but you just didn't know what level it sucked balls until you actually film it, and then you're like, oh my god. Yeah, it's very tough. Specifically, I'm just saying in general.
No, yeah. The reason I started doing that? I got called out and someone said I wasn't, because my camera angle wasn't really showing my legs on. I forget what song it was. It was a video I posted. Someone called me out saying, that I wasn't really playing that fast, or my knees didn't look like I was doing. And so I was like, and I wish I could remember what video it was, but I actually went back, reposted the same video because I had recorded my feet because I was already thinking about doing the foot cam thing.
Oh, nice.
I'm really lazy when it comes to my video editing, so I was like, I'm just gonna post it without the foot cam.
It's actually really not that bad. That you just put the foot cam, video, and then splice it in or
I
whatever.
didn't. I did not know this at the time. I was
Yeah,
totally thinking it was some long process that that I found daunting. That I did not realize was just do picture in picture.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You could do that too. All right. Well, I'm gonna do mine. So just
Yeah.
a little bit of background. I've been working a lot on linear flow. So
Okay.
for those of viewers that don't or listeners whatnot, that hi,
That's
that
me. That don't know what the hell that is. That's
don't
me
know
right
what
here.
linear flow is. So linear flow is kind of like it's like the proverbial golf swing of the drumming community. Like
Okay.
you're always getting tips on it. You're always working, trying different clubs and stuff like that. Like really, but that's like the coveted. I mean, no one really brags about how good they are at like putting. It's always about like when I say golf swing, I mean like a drive. Like I'm driving
Right. Yeah.
cards or whatever. That sort of thing. So linear means that nothing is hitting at the same time. So
Okay.
if it's
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's what linear means.
that's what
Okay.
linear means, yeah. So if it's 5 notes in a row, it could be snare, kick, kick, tom, tom, cymbal. Snare, kick,
So
kick, tom, tom. Well, snare, kick, kick, tom, tom is 5. So snare, kick, kick, tom, tom, and then you could build a whole measure of that. Okay, snare, kick, kick, tom, tom, bell, bell, cymbal, kick, snare, snare, kick, and crash together, and that's like a measure of whatever time signature you're
so
doing.
I actually have a song that comes to mind that I think would be an example of a linear playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you know Deftones, right?
Oh yeah.
The intro to Digital Bath.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Would that's an example of linear playing?
It's almost linear. I don't think everything hits
I don't think there's
independently.
anything in that hits. Okay, no, there are some hi hats that are on the kick.
The first beat is da 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 cat, and he's hitting the hi hat on the first beat. So da 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 cat, like da 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 cat.
I think it's I
So
was just
beat
kind of
one
learning.
lands
Yeah.
together. But yeah, that's a good concept. It's not exactly linear because
Okay.
there are still things hitting at the same time. But
What would be what would be an example of a song some people would know that maybe
ooh,
have has that's a good example of linear playing? If you could pull one just out of your head.
there isn't the reason why I say linear flow is because it's normally like a continuous fill. It's just like looping fills together, but trying to
Okay.
make it a tasteful way. And the easiest way for me to do that is to focus on like chaining fills together without making it like copy paste with still
Got
finding like a voice. So there, like in
Okay.
a band, it's hard to say linear flow within a
I see
musical
what you're
setting
saying.
because if I'm playing a beat, even like I mean any kind of beat, you're gonna have stuff hitting at the same time. Normally on the upbeats or downbeats of a bar.
Right.
So like linear flow is gonna be more like I'm playing a fill and I'm playing, like I think the easiest way to understand like linear is like two against two. Everybody's favorite fill: hand, hand, foot, foot, hand, hand, foot,
Right.
foot. That's all linear. You're not
Okay.
playing. You're not
Okay.
playing hand, hand on the nobody. I mean, that's cool if you want to do that, but like snare and snare and the bell, kick, kick, snare, snare and the
Right.
bell, kick, kick, where your hands are going like this, which would be
Yeah.
cool if somebody did that, but normally it's just.
That quintessential metal fill. That
Exactly. Four against two or three against three. All those are linear
right.
skills. So taking linear concepts. So what I took some lessons with a guy named Jerome Garnett, and he has these videos on YouTube building blocks to gospel chops. He's a phenomenal player.
Okay.
His method is okay. You take like two against two, right left kick kick, right left kick kick, right left kick kick, right left kick kick, and you make it right left left kick kick, right left left kick kick, right left left kick kick. So you add instead of hand hand, it's hand 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 foot foot,
Okay.
or instead of hand hand foot foot, it's hand 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 foot. So wherever there's
Okay.
one, there's two, or wherever there's two, there's three, or you add a note, or you take one away, or you
Got you.
reverse it. You make it, accents on beat one. You put the accent on the last beat instead, and you're just kind of manipulating that. So after a while, it's kind of like, all right, how can I put these notes into like a grid where we just took like two phrases. We took right left left kick and we took right, left kick, left, right kick. So if you think of like John Bonham, left, right kick, and you just
Right.
play it on the toms and you can close it. But if you alternate left, right kick, right, left kick, you get a completely different tonal
Right. Yeah.
push.
Yeah.
Up, down, and it's like doom da 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 do da da do da da. If you just play the hands, it almost sounds like a little swing beat.
Whenever there's
When
a
you add in the feet.
Ray Luzier throws that into his solos a lot. I've noticed
Yep.
it'll
So
be
does Todd Zuckerman. He
right.
plays at the end of like trash can.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Zuckerman's trash can fill is that. It's just 2 against 2 in 30-second notes. Right,
Yeah.
left, and then kick, kick on the double pedal, and then left, right. And he's just playing. You can see it, him doing this on the toms instead of this on the toms. It looks like a flam. He's going da 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 da, and that's the 1 2 1 2 1 2. That's the 2 on the hands, and he's just filling
I've
the feet. And so
I've
that's when
never
you get
noticed
that.
that. I've never seen Todd play that, and I'm really interested because that like when I see Luzier do it, he
Mhm.
most when I've caught him doing it, it's mostly just between the floor tom and the snare. I would love
Oh
to see
yeah,
that. I would love to see
yeah.
like because Zuckerman's fast as hell too.
Well,
I'd
if
love to see that down the kit like
people
that.
don't know, that's a great way to add a very like that's a great variation. Instead of playing right left kick kick
Mm-hmm.
right left kick kick right left left right right left left right right left left right like that little swingy type thing.
I started messing around with it when I moved my 14-inch floor tom to my left, just to kind of
Oh
start
yeah,
using put my mess around with my left a little more.
very tight.
And so I would when I would add the 2 against 2s into fills, I
Hmm.
would try to add that in there and throw a little a right left left right or something like that from that floor tom to just try to
Yeah,
utilize that floor tom as much as possible.
that's a really good. And actually, if you take the middle tom and put it in your high tom position, then you can kind of get some different voicings as well. But in a band setting, that can be a little distracting. But I'm gonna play. So this is really okay. So here was the goal. The goal was to play to a track, and this was 90 or 100 BPM, and I was gonna do right right left accented kick. So and work on like crossovers and stuff like that, and then
Mm-hmm.
also play either right left kick or left right kick.
Okay.
So just play that, chain those together, and then Jerron challenged me to add one double kick in their summer because that's all single kick. Right, left
Okay.
kick, or right, left kick is just one kick. So add
Right.
in a random right, left kick kick or right, left kick kick. So double
Okay.
up on the kick drum. And I failed. So I played for like 10 minutes and tried to do that. Didn't work. Because I just wanted to. So I got all my chops out. And then on the second run through, I was just like, all right, let me keep it simple, but I want to keep a crash every 2 beats.
Okay.
And that personally has been really helpful for me because if you're just playing to a track and you're just essentially noodling or linear flow or whatever, you're free soloing, whatever you want to call it, it's easy to get lost where you're like, oh, I'm playing out of time, and you don't want to keep your left foot going on the hi hat the whole time or whatever. If you crash on you know every 2 bars you hit a downbeat crash, you can kind of navigate. So you'll hear that on this recording where to for my own navigational purposes, I was hitting the crash to be like, okay, there's beat one, then I can have some continuity where I don't get lost.
Okay.
So yeah, just the overall focus was to not lose the navigation, but also like have a free. I don't want to be boring. Like I still want to be like interesting. And that's a conversation for maybe later. I think podcast coming up. We're going to talk about like why we're on Instagram, things like that. But what were your takeaways?
So one of the things is when I watch a lot of people kind of just free form their way through like that. I'll see chops that are cool, but it loses its musicality.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked that it kept, like you said, it kept that flow. It kept going with the track you were playing to. It didn't sound like it was just a drum solo with a random backing track, which I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of I see a lot of it. Like,
Yeah.
especially, I mean, I'm sure that's great to like, a Berkeley graduate that can sit there and analyze exactly what he's doing and break down the music theory. But for someone that just wants to watch a rad drum video, I'm like, that's cool, but it's not. It doesn't sound like it's going to the track with me. With yours, it sounded like it flowed with the track very nicely. And okay, this is something that I always see, and I don't know what the term for it is or anything, but there was one point you did something on your stack, and you also did it a little bit on your hi-hat. And it's this just quick little moment where it sounds like you're falling off time, but you're not.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you're
okay, yeah, yeah. But before I answer that though, if you, and maybe the people watching picked up on this too, the track is going bump 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 bump, but it's keeping that same.
right,
And what I normally do is after the downbeat crash, it actually got repetitive because I've watched that video like 30 times.
right,
But I hit the downbeat crash, and then I played something like boom boom tom, boom boom
right.
tom to go with the track. But it's also so I keep my place. So it may sound repetitive, but I'm okay doing that if that's like an insurance policy for me not getting off time. But what you're talking about is like it's like people call it metric modulation, people call it like different
That's
stuff. But
I
I would
was going
just
to call it
say
that, but I didn't want to sound dumb. But that's what I've
I,
heard
I
before.
think it's a form of modulation because you're modulating between groups of like okay 16th notes and then which the downbeat is on every quarter note.
Right,
Maybe you modulate to groups of five where it's on the one E and which is kind of cool. It's on the downbeat. It's on the one, then it's on the E of two, then it's on the and of three, then it's on the of four, then it's on the then it's on the and because it's every like five notes. So I think it
right.
can actually be on beat two of the next time. Then it restarts. So downbeat of one, E of two, and of three, of four. 5 notes later is the downbeat of two, E of three, of four. Then the downbeat of then I think it restarts. I have to look at the actual thing, but if you take groups of five and you know where like the beat one is, then you can just kind of play it and you're kind of in like this limbo where it's like, wait, what's happening? What's happening? And then you slam beat one and it's like, oh shit, that's amazing.
Is
So
it the way I'm understanding it in my head is essentially you're playing like we'll say say you're counting four. You'll play counting five till it catches up to the four again.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So with the group of five, I think it resolves every like five measures.
Okay.
You'll get back to beat one because it's like
Right.
every five notes. So every 5 notes there's an accent. It's actually on the sixth note. So you play 5 notes with an accent on the downbeat, and then the
Mhm.
sixth note has another accent. So one E and two E and three E and four E and one E and two E and three, four E and one.
Okay.
So you might be able to play that in a phrase like groups of five, moving it around,
Right.
and the last one you just go four E and downbeat crash
Crash.
instead
Got
of
you.
four E and one E, or you could play it, and I think it's five measures and it resolves, and it's cool because you can do a lot with that. But I think that what you're talking about is, and that was a good catch that I did in the hi hat as well, is that Todd Zuckerman thing.
Yeah.
Right left kick, left right kick, except on all the lefts I just hit a backbeat. So
So you were doing that same lick on your stacks at that point.
exactly. So
Oh,
so
now that you say that, I hear it.
except it's it's actually right left kick, left right kick. Because then if I just played right left kick, left right kick, it wouldn't be
Uh-huh.
like a beat. I wanted to go I wanted to go so right kick, accent left right kick, right kick, left right kick, accented left right kick.
Okay, I hear it.
And
Ooh.
if you could play that fast, you can actually move it around to different drums,
Ooh, I'm trying that out later. That sounds
and
cool.
and then you end it with I mean, you can end it however you want, but I mean, if you want to play that backbeat, I guess it would be it'd end with a right left kick kick.
Okay.
The end of the phrase. So whatever you're playing, if you're playing that backbeat pattern, it would end with But a lot of that, like one of it, I switched the camera angle, which was really cool because you couldn't see that I like kind of, it was almost a fuck up. It was like
Uh-huh.
a left hand because you got to be willing to like hit downbeats with other with your
Right.
or something like that. But another thing, I did another Superman thing is it's like a six stroke roll plus we'll just call it the Superman fill right left kick kick left right kick kick and then sometimes
Okay.
I end with a downbeat on the snare.
Right.
If you're ending with a kick kick at the end of the bar, you don't want to go kick kick kick. You don't want to make it
Right. Right.
complicated. But I think the key to that, because I think I played that track for like 20 minutes. And then the first time I was just like, it was way too choppy. I wanted to keep it simple. So I think the key to that, the key to better linear flow or whatever, is just like whatever you play, if you can't play a crash on every two bars, then you need to take it all the way back. You need
And
to
break
hit
it down.
flam downbeats or just eight note permutations or something. So just on either the downbeat or the upbeat. No 16th notes, no triplets, no sextuplets, no nothing. If you That's what you got to do just to be able to hit that downbeat crash. To your point earlier, it will probably be more interesting to the listener as well, because they're like, I would love to get in a car and just drive 100 miles an hour and it just be all a blur, but I don't see anything that's going on around me. That's just like a complete blur. So if I want to understand what's happening, or at least have a better idea of what's happening, it can't be going that fast. Like I need to be able to discern what's going on for it to be interesting and entertaining to me.
Exactly. And I mean, and realistically, it's, like, especially like when I was saying about it being listenable, like that, someone could listen to that is not a musician and enjoy it.
Exactly.
And I think as musicians, that's who you're playing for. We're not supposed to be in a beat off contest with each other about this stuff.
Well, I mean, it kind of is, but the other thing that to add to that, the last thing is the dynamics.
Hmm.
Like I really try to play like as many ghost notes as possible. Even the last phrase, you couldn't really hear the toms, but that's like a Vinny phrase. And
Hmm.
I just did a video on breaking down Vinny Colaiuta and everything. So one of his like signature licks is it's kind of linear, but not really linear. Um, every time the right hand hits, you hit the ride bell, and
Hmm.
then you play 30-second notes all the way through a bar. But you play right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right. It's an inverted double stroke roll. So,
Okay.
so if you just keep your right hand on the ride bell, and you're playing ding, day ding, day ding, day ding,
Right.
ding. You just fill in all the other notes, but just move your hand up and down. Ding da da ding ding da da ding ding da da ding ding da da ding ding.
Okay.
And I played it in six meter. So you can play it, or you can just play it. You can play it, but it sounds. But that's also a variation of two
Oh,
against two. You're just flipping it. So instead of starting with two, you're starting with one, one, two, two. So one E N, two E N, three E N, four E N, one, like that. It's kind of hard to explain without playing it, but like that's what an inverted double stroke roll is. So you're just applying that to the kit.
hmm.
So again, like finding like little like I wasn't trying to blast out that last phrase is nice and subtle on the toms, like something a little bit more dynamic. Like you have
Hmm.
highs and lows throughout, and I think that's really what makes it interesting for me as the viewer. I don't want to hear you fucking blast off. I want to hear some dynamics.
I have fairly recently, within like I want to say like the last year, really discovered the importance of dynamics.
Yeah,
Uh, they add so much texture to your playing. Um, and like I really started digging into how, when, and where to apply ghost notes and accents,
Hmm.
and it adds dynamics to it. Exactly what that is. There's depth to it, as opposed to clock 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 the entire time.
Which is a lot of metal music,
Which
unfortunately.
it is, but not. I mean, even some of this newer stuff is applying more dynamics with it. Like, especially if you listen to not more of a hardcore band, but you got like I'm trying. Oh my god, I'm blanking on names. Like bands like I think it's Architects. They're
Oh
not my
yeah.
Yeah, they're not so much my style, but they apply. I mean, they're hard hitters, but
Hmm.
there's ghost notes and accents and stuff in there, and their fills aren't just single strokes across the kit. You can hear the accents, the ghost notes. There's he's playing rudiments, and it's really cool. I mean, and not my style of music, but I can listen to it and really appreciate the drumming, especially in the context of heavy music.
I would
Because
definitely check out Tesseract as well. Tesseract is a great,
Tesseract, I've
great
heard the
example.
name, but I have never.
I've seen the transcriptions, and they're just all. It's just a wall of ghost notes. I mean, just dynamic. So I mean, it's almost like, okay, take a three different fills or phrases or whatever licks you have, and just make them dynamic. Like make them 50% ghost notes, or play soft loud, like the right left kick, left right kick. You can go
Mhm.
like ascending descending to it too. You can make it like soft loud. You can make it, kind of have like peaks and valleys, as
Like
opposed to just
crescendo,
like
crescendo and
trash
decrescendo.
can every single thing that you're playing. Yeah, I mean, and you can, and that's what I like about those linear concepts, is that you can take them in 16th notes, sextuplets, that sort of thing. I actually made a video on that last night, and I couldn't play it clean enough where I wanted to add it on. But I have a fill pattern that you can play in 16th and sextuplets, and the sextuplet sounds exactly like what you said, where you're like, wait a minute, what was that? Because it's sextuplets in groups of five. So
Okay.
there's 24 sextuplets in a measure, so you can play almost five groups of five. You can play four groups of five in a group of four equals 24.
And then it goes over the bar a tad, correct?
It doesn't
Because
go over
you
the bar. That's it.
Okay.
5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 20, plus 4 is 24. There's
Oh,
24
okay.
sextuplets in a measure.
Okay. So you're counting five, and then you count
One, two,
four.
three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a bar of
Five.
sextuplets in 4/4.
Okay.
But if
Okay. I
you're
get it
listening
better
to
now.
it, you're literally hearing it at what's called like a displacement, I guess, or modulation, or whatever you want to say, because it's a downbeat. The first two phrases is on the downbeat, and then on
Mm-hmm.
the of one.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is when the other one hits. So it hits right before the next downbeat. So as a listener, you're like, did he just fuck up? But then you hear the downbeat crash at the end, because the last phrase is one and a two and a tss, and as long as you hit that downbeat crash. But at a certain tempo, you're going to be like, I don't know what that was. So it kind of, you have to orchestrate it in a way that still sounds entertaining, but also like, okay, so you just crammed a bunch of notes into a phrase, and it doesn't sound musical at all. So I think we're pretty close here on time. Any final thoughts on what to expect? You want to talk about what we're doing next podcast?
Well, a lot of this is going to be us talking about drums. A lot of Jeff educating me and whoever's watching about some of the stuff that he has learned over the years, and in his scope of drumming. And I will be doing the same in my, self-taught, learned in a bedroom sense. On top of that, we'll be having a few guests. We have a couple cool people. I don't want to say any names exactly yet, but we have couple cool people that are going to be coming on. And yeah, I think that's about it. We're just going to be talking about stuff that has to do with music. A lot of it mostly relating to drums, but everything from social media to mental health to playing drums with complaining neighbors.
Yeah.
So
I think what I really want to contribute to kind of pitching back off. It's been a long day. Piggyback off what you said is providing education any way that we can, and hit us up with questions. send us DMs or emails or whatever on, hey, I've always wondered about this. Like we'll give you guys opportunity to ask those questions. But that's what I really want to tackle. Is just like, hey, I've always wondered, how do I get my kick drum to sound this way, or when people are record, I can never get my video to look as good, or I'm hitting a plateau and I don't want to drum anymore. You know, like that sort of thing. That's the kind of stuff I want to talk about as well, and not just here's how to
I'm
play the instrument.
and I'm hoping that I will be able to ask a lot of the right questions in terms of these things that you know that I don't, and vice versa. But yeah, hopefully we get a lot of cool questions from people that things we can delve into.
Absolutely.
Um, and it just explore. I mean, there are going to be people that want to learn everything from music theory and every rudiment that they can possibly learn, to people that are like, I just want to play blast beats. And I don't think, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? Whatever makes you happy playing drums.
Everything
I've
we've
seen,
talked about applies though.
yeah,
It conceptually it applies. Like so you're like, no, I don't care about any of that. What you just talked about with displacement, and modulation, and who played what fill. I just want to play blast beats, and it's like, what's the first thing we talked about? Foot technique.
yep.
What weak side, left side.
And then that's going to,
Understanding odd time signatures. Like you don't blast beats aren't always in 4/4. Like a
I
lot of
actually,
shit is in odd time signatures. You got to know how to think. You got to know how to use your brain to be able to play.
when I'm playing, I count my blasts in 3 for some reason. And it's
Oh,
weird. Yeah.
like
Even if I'm not
a
like, because I kind of learned doing that bell accent,
Mhm.
and so I was breaking them up in 3 in my head, and I still do it, even though like it'll land in an odd spot if when I'm counting everything else. But I just, in my head, my blast beats are in 3, no matter what else I'm doing.
Yeah.
My blast beats are in 3 for some reason.
Well, which is really cool. I mean, which is, I know we're out of time, but like if you're playing a group of three, like every third note is accented, but you're playing in 4/4.
Mm-hmm.
That da 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 da
Yep.
da, instead of da 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 da,
Yep.
you get like a different pulse, which actually sounds dope. So
Yeah. Oh, that's what I love. I don't. I
it's
love.
easier to go like this, da 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 da, then go da 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 da. Like I mean, people are they do this weird, like their hand is almost moving like this, like it's like a push pull, but it's like a
Yeah, the little finger motion.
yeah.
Well, I don't get me wrong. I love
Very
blast beats, and God, we need to wrap this up. But I love blast beats, and those singles, just those really fast single stroke blast beats are cool.
yeah.
But when they break them up with the bell, or add like, just little odd time stuff with splashes, it just adds so much depth, and it's a lot. I love doing that stuff.
That's dynamics, yeah, for sure. All right, well, I'm looking forward to next week. I know we have a guest next week, which is we're not gonna say who.
I don't
But
want to say who just yet, because I want to make sure we don't we haven't set up the schedule with them, so I don't want to be like, hey, and then no.
we're gonna get some guests on though, for sure. So thanks everybody for watching. See you next time.
Thanks everyone. Take it easy.